Rolling. What made you initially apply to be on this mission trip?
I had been wanting to do a mission for a number of years, and either the timing was never right, or I couldn't afford to go, or maybe there was something like I would need to have PALS, which I do not have. So I waited, and then I got the call from Athena, and for some reason I just knew it's something that I really wanted to do, and so I applied.
What were your emotions? Describe your emotions when you were selected to participate in the trip.
Ooh, I have to say it was pure joy and elation because I'm a giving person and I have wanted to do it. And when she called and told me that I had been selected, it was, you couldn't pull me off the ceiling. I was so excited to go.
What was your initial reaction when you arrived in Ecuador at the hospital?
Oh gosh, the first day we came to Ecuador, we arrived at night. It was like midnight, so it was dark and we really couldn't see anything. And we got to the hotel, and the hotel was very nice. But then the next morning, when we were on the bus and we were going to the hospital, it was, you read about things and you hear things and you know what life, you're warned about what life is like in other countries. But when you drive through it and you see these ultra nice modern buildings, and then squished in between them are like almost like tenement houses, and everything is guarded and grilled, and it's just amazing. But even with that, the people were very proud of what they have, and they were very gracious to us. So it was an eye-opening experience.
Can you describe a typical day at the hospital?
Normally we got there about 7 in the morning, and the whole week we were there, we had a hospitality team that was assigned to us, and we had Jimmy and Fernando, and they provided us with food and drinks, and those guys were amazing because we put in usually our normal day was about 14 hours. And then a couple of nights we were there for over 16 hours, and they stayed with us the whole time to make sure that we had food and drinks. But after we got to the hospital and the doctors would decide which cases we were going to do in what rooms, then we would have to go and just start getting our rooms ready and make sure that we had everything that we were going to need for the cases. And at that point it was like a regular, a regular OR that you're getting ready for.
Can you describe the clinical practice in Ecuador versus the United States?
There's a big difference. In Ecuador, they reuse and recycle everything. The things that we throw away on a daily basis, like our C-arm covers, for instance, when we get done with them, because they're just plastic, clear plastic. In the States, we throw them away. They wash them off and they re-sterilize them. So when we opened our trays with our paper wrappers, they saved all of that. So their clinical practice is much different. And a big part of that was at the hospital, they have armed guards at all the doors, and if you don't have the correct paperwork, you can't get in.
How did you connect with the patients after the surgery?
Occasionally we got to go up and see them or take things to them after surgery, just little things. Most of them spent the night or at least a day or two in the hospital, so it was nice to see that. We also got to go over to the orthotics lab and interact with a couple of people, and there was one little girl, and her name was Maria, at the orthotics lab, and she was born with a myelomeningocele, so she was paralyzed. and her mother had brought her on the bus, and they live a couple hours away by bus. And so when it was Maria's turn to come in and get her braces adjusted, she was really crying because she was tired. She wanted to go home. She had come for therapy. The therapist wasn't there, so then she had to sit in the waiting room all afternoon just waiting for her turn to get in to see Jason and Alex. So she just did not want to be there. But we talked to her and played with her and gave her a bear and stickers, and by the time she was left, she was smiling and laughing and having a good time. Hang on. Drink of water. Okay.
Was there a specific moment or experience? Terrible. Was there a specific moment or experience in particular that made an impact on you and perhaps changed your life in some way?
Absolutely. The afternoon that I got to go over to the orthotics lab, there was a little boy there, and his name was Edward. And he had been born with just a very mild clubfoot. And so he wore braces on his lower legs, and one of them was giving him this chronic callus and blister on the outside of his foot. So they were reshaping his braces. And so we gave him a teddy bear, and we started playing toss with the teddy bear. And he just laughed and giggled, and it was one of those laughs that just goes straight to your heart. And it was just, it made you feel so good. It made you feel so good.
How has Project Perfect World and this mission trip impacted your life?
It has made me see that all the things that we perceive as slights, that we grumble about on a daily basis, they don't matter. It matters how we treat people and we interact with people, and we need to be thankful for our easy access to health care, because when you have to essentially win a lottery once a year to get health care for your child, which is what it's equated to down there for the kids that we end up doing surgery on, we don't have problems in this country, truthfully. We just need to be thankful for what we have.
Would you consider doing a mission trip like this again?
Absolutely. I want to do a mission trip again. I would love to go to Ecuador again. The people were so gracious and helpful, and I made 27 new friends for life, and it was just really nice because the ladies in the OR every day, they just give you this big hug and tell you thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. And they don't understand that what we may be doing for them physically, they do for us spiritually, and they just kind of fill your soul.
And please share any final thoughts about your Project Perfect World trip and experience.
Project Perfect World is a really amazing organization. The 4 doctors that went with us this year, they're all young guys. They all went to residency together, and they kind of plan on doing this as a yearly thing. And the nun that hosts us down there, her name is Sister Annie, and besides doing that, she runs a place that's called the Damien House. And what most people don't know is that the organism that causes leprosy is endemic to the soil down there. And so we think about leprosy as something that's, leprosy, who's got leprosy? But down there, they have leprosy. And even though it's easily treated, they don't have the money or the ability to get to the clinics to be treated. So when they get bad and they can't take care of themselves, Sister Annie takes care of them. So.
Yeah, I think the only thing is maybe get a little introduction from you, because we don't really, like, I don't think we said
Oh.
your name anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
your
Yeah,
name,
of course.
you know, where you're from.
How long you been
Okay.
with cross country?
Okay.
So, I have every
I
question.
told you I'm a pro. I've done
Every
this
question.
like 5 years in a row, man.
Yeah, no,
Hi, just give me a paper bag. I'm the unknown circulating nurse.
So, no more flushes, right? We're good. All right. Brenda, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Brenda Duncan, and I'm an RN, and I work in the operating room, and I've been in the OR for 38 years. And I've been with Cross Country since 2006, and Debbie Diamond has been my recruiter and my sounding board and my friend for that long. And this was the first time I ever got to meet her face to face, which was amazing. But I'm originally from Missouri, and I've traveled all over the country with Cross Country.
Awesome. Very good. That's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Thank you, Barbara Walter.